Hello, everyone, and welcome to Benefit News Podcast Antarman. Why Antarman? Have you ever heard your consciousness? If not, why you are not able to listen your conscious? Because you are being driven by, controlled by your emotions. What are these emotions? What are these moods? Why they control you? Is the outside pressure or developments that is controlling your emotions? Why emotions are so much influencing your personal, your professional, your social life. Do you think that you really don't understand what's happening with you? And if you have such queries, that's the first sign that tells you you need to consult a psychologist. And so, here on Antarman, we are going to help you to understand what are the problems, how you can understand it, and what you need to do. And to enlighten on this, we have Aditi Bhansali, counseling psychologist from AYA's Counseling Center. Welcome, Aditi. Aditi, the very basic thing that any human being right now need to understand what are these psychology or mental illness myths. When one will get sense that okay, this is not right, something is wrong with me or my family members or my colleagues. What are these myths? Where one can catch it?
Myths basically, there are a lot. Growing up in Indian household with Indian culture, there are a lot of stereotypes till date related to mental health, mental illnesses, and mental well-being in general. So, psychology, I think, comes in every aspect of our life, be it work, be it personal life. But some of the common mental health myths would be this is just a phase, you will snap out of it. It's like I have my leg fractured and you are asking me to walk it off. Doesn't work like that, right? So a lot of times when people say it's just a phase, it more often than not is not just a phase. If you are struggling emotionally, mentally, in any way, it is a sign that your body requires help. So a lot of times your sleep is decreased or increased. You have low or very high appetite, right? You eat more or less than what you have been eating. And a lot of times your work is getting impaired, your social relationships, you just don't feel like getting out of the bed, or either you're just highly anxious, overachieving in a lot of different ways, and you're just you don't feel like yourself, is what I'm trying to say a lot of times. That is one. Another myth that I commonly come across is mental health is just for weak sorry, yeah, it is just for weak people, you know, which is absolutely not at all true. Because I think जिन जिनके पास दिमाग है, whoever has a mind, has a brain, has thought processes of their own, they can suffer from it, or not actually suffer per se, but it just so normal. जैसे फिजिकल बीमारी कोई भी टाइप की किसी को भी हो सकती है, वैसे ही हम मेंटली भी कोई भी वे में कभी भी स्ट्रगल कर सकते हैं. इट इज़ वेरी वेरी नॉर्मल. इफ़ यू फील कि going to a gym and lifting 100 kilos is a sign of strength, I would say a bigger strength would be reaching out to someone for help when you are struggling in any sort of way.
Are there primary symptoms for anxiety or depression, or what symptoms should hint a person that it's time to consult a psychologist?
Right. That's a very good question, because a lot of times people just say कि आज तो मेरे को मिलने नहीं आया तो मैं डिप्रेशन में चली जाऊंगी, या everyone is just casually using the term anxiety कि मुझे बहुत anxiety हो रही है. So there are symptoms, there are criteria that you have to match in order for us to say okay, you have depression, you have anxiety. उसमें भी levels होते हैं, mild, moderate, severe, something like that. But depression is not just sadness कि आज आप sad हो तो आप depressed हो. No, it is when you are not interested in the work or in the things that you used to enjoy previously. You just don't feel like कि मुझे कुछ करना है, या I'm interested in this. Another one would be when it starts to affect your relationship or your work, when you easily feel tired or drained even after not doing a lot of things. You know, you're just there in that survival mode, and you're just getting out of the bed is so difficult for you that you cannot actually function. There are few of the symptoms of depression. With anxiety, it is restlessness, sweaty palms, very very anxious. उसका अगर सीवियर फॉर्म होता है तो फिर पैनिक अटैक्स आने लगते हैं. सो इट इज़ नॉट जस्ट कि अच्छा अभी मुझे पॉडकास्ट रिकॉर्ड करना है, आई एम फीलिंग एंशियस तो मुझे एंग्जाइटी है. नो, दैट इज़ अ गुड amount of stress that you require for you to function efficiently and effectively. It's called stress. But when you are in distress, or when you are actually like anxious, there is a lot of breathlessness. That's when you can say कि हाँ okay शायद मुझे anxiety हो सकती है.
When should I consult you? As for example, today I'm not feeling well, or my colleagues say I am not in the same mood as I was earlier a day, or normally I used to be a very calm person, but today they feel that I am not that same person. Is it that moment that I should consult you?
So a lot of time what happens is therapy or per se counseling is not just कि जब आपको कोई severe issues हो, when you are not feeling like yourself, when someone is pointing out something that has changed in you, a lot of times some subconscious or unconscious phenomenon is taking place that makes you behave the way that you are behaving. Let's say if you are calm throughout your life and suddenly you start feeling anxious, or you have anger issues, or you just like the bad person or something like that, then it means कि something has changed within you. That is a very very good time to sort of reach out for help. But at the same time, highs and low, ups and downs चलते रहते हैं. But in order to navigate them better, it is of course recommended to seek help, because there is nothing wrong with it.
Nowadays, there is one phrase, or you can say a jargon, very common, specifically in the working class.
Okay.
I'm burned out today.
Right.
Is this a very serious issue, or now this burnout has become a very common in every working or self-employed person? Or is it basically to show more that he's been more under pressure or workload?
Right. A lot of times, more often than not, it is common, because a lot of times, because we have so many career options, firstly, we don't know what to choose and where to go for, and what are our skills, our interests. So we just go in a field. And then once we do that, and even if it is something, if the work is something we are doing which we actually are enjoying, right, we get burnout. So burnout is basically mental, physical, emotional exhaustion. That आज आपने आके सिर्फ एक मीटिंग लिया and you feel you are just tired, you are drained, you don't have energy. It is very very true, and your body is experiencing all of these symptoms. So आजकल बर्नआउट ज़्यादा हो रहा है. पहले लाइक वी हैव हर्ड कि हम तो 12-12, 13-13 घंटे काम करते थे, हमें तो कुछ नहीं होता था, तुम्हें क्यों इतना हो रहा है. इट इज़ ऑल बिकॉज ऑफ आवर लाइफ स्टाइल, our eating habits, sleep habits, and particularly if we are talking in context of our work, if we are not enjoying it, or if it is draining us out, it can be a burnout. Yes, it is very much real.
When a team leader can feel or observe that his or her team member are being burned out, but they are not able to express it, convey it.
Right. So a lot of time it happens that absenteeism has increased, कि वो लोग काम पे नहीं आते हैं, जल्दी जाना प्रेफर करता है. And even if they are there, they are just there. They are existing. They are surviving. They are not very very productive because their body doesn't allow them to be. So that is one sign. It's a nuance of it. So if you happen to observe that. Another one is change in the way they interact with their peers or colleagues. So they are just not interested anymore, and they are just like, being very passive in the conversations. They are just कि दूर से देख रहे हैं, observe कर रहे हैं. And often a lot of times they are just एनर्जी ही नहीं है उनमें कुछ करने की. बट क्योंकि अभी गिल्टी फील होगा छुट्टी लेने पे, या काम बहुत ज़्यादा है, सो दे टेक ओवर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी इफ़ देर इज़. सो that also leads to burnout, and then it leads to all of the issues at the workplace.
What are the healthy, practical way to address these issues?
Right. So setting boundaries is not very new of a concept, but India mein I think it's new, because a lot of times we don't know what boundaries are. If let's say you are my boss and my working time is till 6 and you call me at 8 to do some work and I have a family to look after, I will feel very bad or very guilty saying no. कि ठीक है काम है, मैं I'm a part of this organization, I should work, right? And that goes on to 12 p.m., 1 p.m. That is not what a boundary setting is. If it is an emergency, of course you should attend to it. But let's say saying no in a very assertive way is setting a boundary. So using a lot of I statements, this is something that I will pick up on tomorrow, first thing tomorrow morning. Saying something like that instead of just saying नहीं मैं क्यों करूँ, मेरे काम का time खत्म हो गया है. That is one way of setting a boundary. Another one, boundaries are very, very important even with parents, friends, or with yourself also. If you are burnout, take a break. There's nothing wrong with taking a break.
But this burnout, actually a person himself or herself is not able to judge whether she is or he is really burnout, or she is just feeling that I'm not comfort with.
Right. Feeling uncomfortable or discomfort is one aspect of it, but exhausting yourself, like you're out of resources now, that's a burnout.
Okay.
Being completely drained mentally, emotionally, physically is a burnout.